The Washington Wizards finally hit the reset button when they traded longtime All-Star guard Bradley Beal to the Phoenix Suns, finally entering a rebuild collecting young talent like Jordan Poole to build a core for the future. And while I'm excited to see Poole this season because I think he will have a breakout year in a new situation, the player I'm most excited about is Bilal Coulibaly, the 7th overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft, who the Wizards traded up from pick 8 to get. Coulibaly is a high upside wing with a profile that NBA teams covet, and I think he is going to get more opportunity than past Wizards top picks because he enters the NBA with the Wizards having different goals than in years past. In this video, I want to talk about the projections for Coulibaly as a rookie and his potential NBA outcomes. But quickly before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I would really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and hit notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways you can help me out in the YouTube algorithm and help more people find my videos, on top of helping me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about Bilal Coulibaly. Coulibaly has a frame and athleticism that NBA teams desire in modern day wings. He stands at 6'6", he weighs 195 pounds, he has a 7'2" wingspan, and that's a frame that also suggests that he could get to around 210 to 215 pounds in terms of adding functional strength. He's a very fluid athlete, he has very good flexibility, he's explosive, he's a great vertical athlete, has a good first step, runs the floor well. Every physical trait you want from a modern day NBA wing, he has, and it's a really good baseline to have from a physical and athletic profile, considering the upside he has as a player. Now, Coulibaly is a very raw prospect, and I do think Wizards fans mostly understand that he'll have his ups and downs. But I do want to remind people that he is super young for an NBA rookie. Playing in Summer League at 18 years old is really young, and fans should be patient with him through the ups and downs early on. As a rookie, I expect him to bring his most value on defense. He has the frame and athleticism, as well as the feel and technique on that end of the floor. He should be able to hold his own on the perimeter as a defender, and he should bring value with his ground coverage as well. I think he will show signs of being a good shot blocking wing, and on offense, he will be most effective as a transition threat and cutter, using his athleticism to his advantage. Now, I think he actually could be more productive in the offensive area than people think, because he will be able to thrive playing off a creator like Jordan Poole and a scorer like Kyle Kuzma. So those two are going to get the most attention, which will probably lead to easier looks for Bilal Coulibaly. He will show flashes as an offensive player. He will have flashes as a creator. He definitely has a handle worth being optimistic about. But he's not a good shooter right now. And I think the Wizards should prioritize fixing his form a bit, maybe speed it up, get more consistent with his lower body mechanics. But I will say this, he's not a bad catch and shoot player, but he does need to speed up the mechanics in general because those looks aren't going to be as easy in the NBA because he's not going to be left completely wide open. But I do think at the same time, the fact that he's not afraid to take jumpers when left open is a good sign. I think there's enough here to develop into a good shooter. It's not like I look at him play and think he's a lost cause as a shooter, but he will need to improve as a shooter to reach his full potential. He will also have wild plays where he's out of control, similar to Jaden Ivey, but again, he's super young, and I think he can improve with time and reps. My rookie stat projection for Bilal Coulibaly is actually a bit higher than you would think. I have him averaging 10.2 points per game, 4.3 rebounds per game, 0.9 assists per game, 1.2 steals per game, on 43.2, 26.4, 60.6 split. I think he will have a slow start to his rookie season, but will pick it up once he gets more comfortable in the NBA. And I think he will be more productive than people think because he will be playing off of Jordan Poole, who I think will open up opportunities for Coulibaly more than people think. The Wizards have enough scoring threats to make life easier on Bilal early on, and I think he will show all the signs of potential he has through his ups and downs. Now, I believe the best possible outcome for Bilal Coulibaly is an all-star level player, as one of the better two-way wings in the league, a guy who's versatile on both ends of the floor, and maybe even all defense good. My potential peak stat projection for Bilal Coulibaly is 20.6 points per game, 6.4 rebounds per game, 2.3 assists per game, 2.1 steals per game, 1.2 blocks per game, on 47.5, 36.8, 68.1 split. An all-star caliber player when you factor in his good offensive production and elite defense, and a secondary option on contender. More than likely a third option, but second option in the right situation isn't out of the cards. Now, this is contingent on him improving his jumper and self-creation, which is no guarantee, but I think he shows enough signs to believe that this is the potential ceiling for him as a player. Now, obviously, it's no guarantee that he reaches his ceiling. It's true for anyone entering the NBA. We don't know what will happen until it actually happens. So, what about the other potential outcomes? I think the middle ground outcome for Coulibaly is a starting level wing. Can put up around 13 points per game and play good defense to give a prime Trevor Ariza caliber player. And like I've been saying, the most realistic expectations are the ones between the high end and middle outcomes. And to me at least, the most realistic expectation for Coulibaly is a high level starting wing that can be all defense good. Maybe not quite a star level guy, but he could be good enough to convince yourself that he is a star level player if you really want to. And you would definitely think about trading a top 10 pick for him if he reaches this outcome because of the fact that he is an archetype and is good enough to get that pick, because if you're picking in that 7 to 10 range, you're hoping you get a player as good as this possible outcome. And I definitely think a key contributor on a contender. Now, I think the low-end outcome for Bilal Coulibaly is a fringe rotation player. And I know that's different than basically everyone else I've talked about so far, because everyone else I've talked about so far, I've said they've had pretty high floors. I don't really know about that with Bilal Coulibaly. He's very raw, and if he isn't developed properly, it's hard to see him having a big role on a team that is trying to compete. And the way I look at it is shooting is important in today's NBA, especially on the wing. And he needs to develop his jumper. I do see a world where he's like Michael Kidd-Gilchrist or Isaac Okoro. And you might be thinking, well, you gave him a pretty high rookie projection stat-wise. Those numbers are similar to what Michael Kidd-Gilchrist and Isaac Okoro did as rookies on not-so-great teams. So, just because I think he has like a high potential rookie season where he does average like 10 points per game, that doesn't mean that like he'll be able to translate that to winning basketball if the jumper doesn't develop and if he doesn't get better as a creator. I think the floor is pretty low with him. I think while he could bring stuff on defense, we've seen in the past, like, defense is just not enough. We saw it with Matisse Thybulle, we saw it with Frank Ntilikina, we're seeing it with Isaac Okoro right now, where they don't respect you as a shooter, they really can't play you in the playoffs. And while I do think that's his floor, though, I am optimistic that he can be a good player, because he has all the talent and potential to be a good player. So, I do think that while, yes, the floor is low, I do think that there's a real chance that he does work out in the NBA. And I do hope he does work out in the NBA, because I like him a lot. Bilal Coulibaly has the potential to be one of the best two-way wings in the NBA, but it will take time and proper development to reach his full potential. He needs to work on his form and putting the creation flashes together, but he brings high value on defense and as a play finisher due to his athleticism. I think he has a really high ceiling, but his floor is lower than every incoming rookie I've talked about so far. He needs to get better as a shooter. It's vital for him if he wants to be a key player in a rotation, let alone reach his full potential. But I'm optimistic that he can develop into a player that I think can be among one of the best for his role in the NBA. He's shown potential against grown men at a young age overseas, including on big stages, and he has all the talent to be a great wing in the NBA. Now, do I think he's the savior of the Wizards? Not to the extent of he's the guy to build around. Do I think he's a superstar? No, I kind of stated that earlier. But even if he isn't that, he still has potential to be a star in this league, and one of the best two-way wings in basketball. And that's a ceiling we're taking at 7th overall. I think he's going to be a really good player in the NBA. And I wouldn't be shocked if he's better than some of the guys that went ahead of him in this class. It's no guarantee because I think every player that went ahead of him in the draft has a much safer floor. But the ceiling is close to those guys. And I do see a world where I'm wrong about my projections on him and he's even better than I think. Maybe he is a superstar. I don't know if he will be that. It's a really high expectation to have for anyone. But I do see a world where, looking back again, he is the 3rd or 4th best player from this draft class. Now, will he become that? Well, that's something only time will tell. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, I'm notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the 2 best ways that can help me on the YouTube algorithm and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Let me know what you think about Bilal Coulibaly. How good do you think he could be? Do you think he was the right pick? Do you think the Wizards should have stayed at 8 and taken a Jarvis Walker? I would love to hear all of that down in the comment section below. With that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.